This gorgeous and wealthy woman, driven by the desire to carry on her bloodline, did something utterly unimaginable. She took in a battered, ragged little skeleton and kept him close as if he were her lover. She spared no expense to help him rebuild his physical body. Seductively biting her finger, she whispered that he could do anything he wanted with her. But this was no ordinary skeleton. He was once the max-level Bonajura from a fantasy game world, a glitch in the system. Nearly unstoppable. Even when surrounded by the most elite human warriors, he could wipe them out with a single blow. Just as he was slaughtering his enemies with ease, a mysterious group of men in black ambushed him. He was mercilessly killed. A flurry of corrupted code flashing through his mind, then he suddenly found himself lying in a mass grave. His level reset to 1. Before he could make sense of what had happened, a sinister laugh snapped him out of his thoughts. Approaching the source, he found a necromancer. When the necromancer heard him speak, he froze in shock. He had accidentally summoned a rare quality skeleton. Then, with crazed laughter, he attempted to enslave him. The necromancer believed that if the skeleton didn't obey, it was simply because he hadn't been trained properly. Without warning, he conjured chains to bind the skeleton and aimed a ball of dark energy at his skull to break his will and turn him into an obedient pet. Frozen in terror, the skeleton, now known as Luli, realized he had no way to escape with his broken body. Just as the necromancer's spell was about to hit, a massive explosion rocked the earth, blasting Luli over 800 meters away, slamming him into a massive stone tablet. When he came to, he was shocked by the sight before him. A giant beast, 2.5 meters taller than a mountain, stood in front of him. Beneath its feet was the mangled corpse of the necromancer. At that moment, Luli realized this wasn't the beginner's zone. According to the guide spirit that appeared shortly after, Luli had been dropped into the origin zone of the entire Illusion Moon game, a place with the highest level of danger. Survival here meant completing quests issued by the system. Luckily, the next quest location wasn't far. Following the spirit's guidance, Luli reached the gates of Blood Moon City in just 2.5 hours. Seeing the long line of players waiting to enter, Luli didn't want to waste time. He slipped in through a side gate and unknowingly walked right into the middle of a gladiator-style tournament called the Storm Arena. All the contestants were elites with terrifying strength, and by some twist of fate, Luli became an unwilling participant. With his level only at 1, everyone thought he was just cannon fodder. Fortunately, the arena had a rule: all participants would fight at level 10, ensuring a fair match. But even with balanced levels, differences in combat experience and skill couldn't be ignored. Though losing could mean death, Luli didn't feel like he was at a disadvantage. After all, doing nothing had just earned him a level 10 upgrade. Contestants could also choose their class freely, and he immediately picked Assassin because in battle, speed is everything. The others fought for glory and the attention of two powerful mentors: Zhuang Huaishui, head of Northern Peak Hall and master of military affairs, and Wu Yu, the head of Eastern Moon Hall, who controlled all resources. Wu Yu was not only beautiful and rich, but had also mentored the game's #1 prodigy, Han Xiao. The name Han Xiao sent a shiver down Luli's spine. That was his long-lost brother. He had vanished after entering this game, and Luli had joined it with his younger brother to find him. Now, finally, a clue. Wu Yu had to know something. As he stared at her, Wu Yu suddenly looked back, smirking. "Are you really bold enough to stare at me like that? Maybe I should crush you." But before she could act, the host declared the tournament had begun. The first fight featured a seed contestant from the epic bloodline Lion Clan. With a single casual blow, he crushed his opponent. The second was a zombie swordsman named Beilei, who decapitated his foe in one clean strike. The third winner was the dual-blade demon Gur, who slaughtered his opponent with ease. And then came Luli, who, to everyone's shock, actually won his match. Next up, he was matched against the formidable Gur. Upon entering the arena, Gur sneered, telling Luli to surrender because a lowly skeleton wasn't even worth his time. Luli didn't respond, calmly waiting for Gur to strike. Gur launched a heavy attack, but Luli sidestepped it with ease. The audience thought it was just luck until Luli dodged again, blinking 10 meters away in an instant. Enraged, Gur used his ultimate move, Skycracking Slash, which was meant to block all escape routes. Luli jumped straight up at the perfect moment, narrowly avoiding the blow. It was all calculated. He had studied his enemy, arm length 80 centimeters, weapon 1, 2 meters. Even at maximum reach, the attack radius was only 2 meters. With a half-second casting delay, Luli predicted the next move would be a linear dash, which left a brief window of vulnerability. Viewers in the live chat were furious. "Gur, you can't even beat a level 1 skeleton? What a joke!" As expected, Gur leapt into the air for a final slash, but that split-second delay didn't escape Luli. He struck with Comet Slash, his finishing move, cleanly slicing Gur in half. Even the host was speechless. The underdog had won. His victory caught the attention of both mentors, but since Luli's bloodline was the lowest grade, they didn't think much of him. The next match, however, was the one everyone was waiting for: a showdown between the Bloodclawed warrior and Beilei the zombie swordsman. Bloodclaw mocked his opponent for having a weak lineage, but Beilei gave it everything he had, unleashing a flurry of slashes at breakneck speed. Just as it looked like he'd take Bloodclaw's head, the Lion Man bit his sword in half and finished the fight with a brutal spinning attack that tore open Beilei's chest. The crowd went wild. Even Zhuang Huaishui